Where is Andreas? Andreas, yeah, stand up, Andreas, so they know who is responsible for this. When we talked about the premiere, it was very clear because Andreas is one of those people that put their money into movies, and then they come to the set and they hang out and he watches the filming and he wants to be have the knowledge of every single detail that's going on in the movie. And he then told me already that he wants to have the premiere in Köln. And I said to him, it's not a common place to have a premiere. And he says, that's why we're going to have it in Köln. Because, he says, you know, people are so used to having premieres in Berlin or Munich and other places, but it's not common to have it in Köln. I think that the fans in Köln would really love it to have a big premiere in Köln. And I thought that was a brilliant idea to do something different. I always like to do things different. And so he's kind of like a soulmate in that. He's really has a great idea. And he went all out. And you will see tonight. It's going to be an extraordinary premiere. He told me a lot about all the things that he's planned to do. So I think the world of him as a producer and as a financier and someone who's in the movie business that always thinks outside the box. So big hand to you.
Arnold, in this movie you have special kinds of arms and weapons and guns, but meanwhile you have a very special other kind of weapon you have bought from the glorious Austrian army, a tank we have read. So there should be a very nice story about your first tank experiences, and what would you like to do with the tank in America?
Well, first of all, it's interesting, you know, you fight those battles, like in this movie, in Last Stand, you know, we have chase scenes and we have action scenes and blow-ups and shootouts and fight scenes and all of those things. But that's on the big screen. But in real life, I have also a big battle, which is to fight for a green energy future and to battle, you know, our way that we treat the environment. And so we all will have to work together in order to win that battle and eventually to have a greener future for our world so that our next generations can benefit from that. So there's many different battles we battle. The only thing is that the battle outside, in the real world, we're not fighting with bazookas or with machine guns or with fists or with the machine guns or M4s and all those kind of things. We just fight it by convincing and bringing everyone together to march in the same direction so that we fight global warming and fight the pollution that is existing in the world. So that's the difference. Now when it comes to the Austrian tank, I've had the Austrian tank that I drove in the Austrian army already for 20 years in America. And I drive the tank, sometimes I drive journalists around because they enjoy that.
I think it's interesting.
And sometimes I drive inner city kids around, cool kids, when they do well with their after school programs. One of the rewards is that they can come out to the tank maneuver place and they can drive with me with the tank for hours and or go skiing up the Mammoth or whatever it is. So, you know, so we use it for good things and having a good time at the same time. And then it's also ready to, if someone does a war movie, the tank will be used then in the war movie also.
And your first experience?
The first experience was just to learn how to drive the tank. And the first real experience was that I was buried up to my neck in the sand, and then the tank drove over and then started turning on top of me to kind of get you scared. That was the idea, because the dirt started moving together towards your head, and it started getting kind of over your face because of the turning of the tank. So there was all the methods to scare you, or to drive the tank into the freezing cold water. There was ice, and so the ice would break, and then the ice would be shooting up past you, and all this. You know, there's things that you do in order to really be trained and not to get scared of those kind of circumstances. So this was my first few experiences at the age of 18 with this 15-ton tank.
Sounds like a jackass shooter, isn't it?
I'm sitting there thinking that I have their hand me up the same watching. Dear diary.
And once again,